Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And some very interesting news with regards to Wandisile Simelane, who has, if we're all being brutally honest, dropped off the rugby radar since his move away from the Lions. At one stage, it looked like he was going to be a sure Springbok. In fact, it looked like he was going to potentially make the Springboks World Cup squad. He could have been a World Cup winner the way that his career trajectory was looking a few years ago. Now, things have not gone quite according to plan for Simelane, and very interesting to see or why it has not quite gone to plan and where the sort of the issues have come with that. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see what will happen with his career, really. And I think that he's a good example of the concept that the grass is not always greener on the other side. So, for example, we've seen watchalongs go over to France in a big money move and it didn't work, and now he's back in South Africa. And Wandisile Simelane is another example of a transfer that just hasn't worked. Now, before we talk about exactly why it hasn't worked and what his plan is now to get his sort of career back on the straight and narrow, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right. So after sort of bursting onto the scene, especially in the sort of couple of sort of post-COVID seasons, I want to see Simelane, who was absolutely brilliant at Junior Springboks, proper talent, made a move from the Bulls. Now he was lighting things up at the Lions. You know, from an attacking perspective, he was scoring tries for fun. He was setting up tries. He was the hottest prospect at 13. In fact, during some of those Currie Cup, Super Rugby unlocked sort of campaigns and stuff like that, there were times where he was actually outplaying the Kanya. He was playing that well. And then he decided to make the move from the Bulls from the Lions to the Bulls a year ago in 2022. If we look at how well that's gone, he has played 5 minutes of game time of minutes, 5 minutes of matches for the Bulls this season. 5 minutes across 6 games so far. He also, one of the reasons apparently he wants to leave the Lions, apparently the Lions wanted to convert him into a fullback, and he said his career was outside center. He moved to the Bulls, and guess what? He started playing at fullback once again. Now, the reason that he was being played at fullback is that Jake White said that, you know, his best chance of playing international rugby and being involved in the setup for Rassie Erasmus was to be a utility back, which is definitely not sure, not wrong. You know, we've seen how that utility aspect, being able to play in different positions, has got such a premium within the Springbok squad. So I think there's a certain amount of truth in that. But he's not been able to nail down a spot at 13 or at 15 or even in that sort of Bulls squad. And at the moment, not looking any good for him either. You have Steven Gans, who's playing some brilliant rugby at the moment. Kane and Moody, who is supposedly going to be set to sort of play more at 13 than at wing this season at the Bulls, which means that he's sitting at third choice before you even look at the likes of Cornel Hendricks, who's still available, Alana Poo's still available, you know, whether Mark Jansen from Furen or David Creel going to outside centre. So he has decided, well, apparently he's allegedly been in Durban looking to try and secure a move away. And the Sharks apparently seem to be the one where he is looking to try and get into. So apparently they are actually in Durban trying to secure a loan move. And an interesting move that in itself, because you look at the Sharks centre stocks, for example, you've got Lekanya who is the incumbent, or was the incumbent Springbok outside centre. But because he's obviously contracted with SA Rugby, he won't be able to play all the games. He will have to be managed. They have signed Diego Apollos, who hasn't played yet. And then you've got the likes of Veronias from Lensburg and Francois Venter. So I wouldn't say like ridiculously stocked centres like the Bulls maybe, but there are options, for example. They do have options. Ironically enough, you know, he left the Lions and everyone, there's a big panic about him. And yet at the moment, Lions have got a very good option at 13, a very good option at 15. So from a depth perspective, you know, he would have added a lot more to the Lions than I think he would any other side. But I don't think he'd be started the Lions if he came back right now, because he wouldn't start out that centre with the way that Henkoff and Baker's playing, and he wouldn't start at 15 with the way that Kieran Horn's playing. So he now finds himself at a crossroads where if he wants to get back onto that Springbok radar, he needs to start playing. He needs to start playing really well as well. You know, and I think he needs to start committing to being a potential utility player and embracing that. You know, I think at the end of the day, that probably is one of his best chances of making Springbok rugby. And you can either sort of fight against it, you can either be upset about it, or you embrace it and you really sort of take it on the chin and you say, right, I'm now going to become and make myself the best utility player in the country. If the Sharks are the right place to do it, I'm not sure. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Where should Simelane go? Do you think he should have left? And is this a bit of a warning to players that sometimes you make these moves and they don't always go to plan? And then what do you do is the big question. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.